I got started in the industry by seeing an advertisement in the stage newspaper for a young actor between 16 and 20 who was able to do a working class Belfast accent. And I found this in the Town Hall Library of Reading in Berkshire, where I was staying in the summer of 1981 while my parents were on holiday. I was looking after the house, and it had a room number and a telephone extension for BBC Television Centre in West 12. I rang it and I said, I come from Belfast, I can do that accent, what do I do? They said, send your CV and your photograph to this address. And I said, right, of course I will. Put the phone down. I realized I didn't have a CV. I had one photograph. It was on the wall at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, where I was just about to complete my studies. So I drove up to RADA that day. I went into the bar. I took the photograph down. Before I did that, I typed out a CV, making up many more parts and roles than I'd ever played at RADA, suggesting I was extremely versatile. But I think I tried to make most of them Irish, or Belfast working class between 16 and 20. And I drove up to the television centre and I found room 2183 or whatever, and I handed in the CV and that single photograph. I don't think I was cheeky enough to say, please could I have it back? But the next day the phone rang and they said, we'd like you to come in. So I did, a day later, and then a week later I was invited back again with a friend of mine who was at RADA, also with an Irish background. And as a result of that, they offered me the job of the character of Billy in a play called Too Late to Talk to Billy, in a BBC sort of strand of new writing and drama called Play for Today. I joined the Reading Film Theatre up at the university, and I saw two films then, during that time, I don't know, sometime between 15 and 18. One was Dog Day Afternoon, directed by Sidney Lumet and starring Al Pacino. And something about it that was unforgettable was its naturalism, was the way it grabbed you by the scruff of the neck, the reality of the performance, the vividness of New York, the documentary style, the sense of being completely immersed in a world that was very exotic to me, a sort of street New York, at the center of which was a brilliant and charismatic performance by Al Pacino, which was just indelible. I mean, and his various skills in it and various turns as an actor were quite extraordinary. So that picture I saw at that time and walked away thinking I'll never see a greater performance in my life, and I certainly feel as though it stands up wonderfully. And another film of the same time was Manhattan by Woody Allen, which begins with a paean of praise to New York City in black and white. George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue is playing, and it then unfolds the story, the ensemble story of these group of New Yorkers. Again, it's fantastically exotic. It was exotic for a boy from Reading when he was 16, 17, 18. But I remember for various things, the music, his moment on the couch when he talks about what makes life worth living, and he quotes Louis Armstrong, he quotes Gauguin. And I remember also the performance of Mariel Hemingway, which sort of is a cinematic personification of innocence and wisdom all in one. And I think the first big screen appearance of Meryl Streep, who had her hair in a curious way, I remember, which she used to move during the course of the film in a way that was quite electrifying. It was funny, it was moving, it was visually scrumptious. Both of those things had a huge influence on the quality of the work that I aspired to. Practice, practice, practice. If you want to write, read things. If you want to direct, watch things. If you want to act in things and watch other actors. And make the best of the talent that you have. You know, it's possible to hone whatever one has to the very finest and sharpest degree. And part of that is done by just making sure that you watch those who are very, very good at it. That will be part of it, and then practice everything that you can. If you sing, sing. If you dance, dance. And if you're an actor, actually do everything you can. But keep at it and be determined, be resourceful, don't be bored, don't be self-pitying, don't think too much, just do.